Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. My name's Andrew Gibbs-Ripley. I'm a debut fantasy author from the United Kingdom. I published my debut novel, The Eye of the Ages, which is the one here on Amazon KDP in ebook and paperback format on January the 31st this year. So it's been out for just over 4 months now at the time of recording this video. And I really wanted to start this channel just to really share with you the self-publishing journey that I have been on. It's been a very long one. I first came up with the concept for this novel in about 2003 when I was 15 years old. Sort of came to me all of a sudden, and I was suffering from a bit of a writer's block trying to even think of it in the first place. And I'm now, well, it's now 2025, it's over 20 years since. There's been huge amounts of pauses in writing it, partly because life events get in the way, like going to university, starting a job, as I'm a lawyer here in the United Kingdom, and it took quite a bit of time to qualify. But I look back now and realise there's a lot more that I could have done to streamline that, just to ensure that I could get it out a bit quicker. And really what I want to do with this channel is just to share those experiences with you, to break down step by step the journey that I have been on, and share with you all the mistakes that I've made, some of the traps and pitfalls that I have fallen into, and just hopefully make you feel a bit more confident in publishing your own novel. Really, that's the purpose of this channel. It's aimed at people who are not established authors, but those who perhaps wants to write a novel but can't really think of one or can't get started. Those who might be in the middle of writing one and might have got stuck for whatever reason, or those who are looking to publish or have just published one, and are thinking, oh God, what do I do next? There's so much I've got to do. There's a lot of mistakes you can make in publishing in the first place, like getting the cover right, getting the manuscript properly formatted, getting it properly edited, and then actually complying with the standards of each publishing platform in the first place. I published mine on KDP, and it's completely different to publishing on places like Ingram Spark or BookVault or wherever else you might want to use, of which there are many. So really what I want to do is share my experiences with you and hope that you enjoy this channel, that you get a lot from it. I'll be sharing short videos around 5 to 15 minutes to begin with, both about the publishing journey and about my own novel itself, which I will use as an example, along with other books that I have also read, many of which are behind me on my shelf over there, just to showcase the sorts of things you could be doing differently or thinking about, just to try and improve your writing and streamline the process of self-publishing, because at the end of the day it is fun. It has to be fun. It feels daunting, but ultimately I want this space to be a safe space where you can think, oh, okay, I'm making mistakes, I'm not doing that well at the moment, but there are things that I can do. Every author has been through it. I can assure you of that. Even the most established have been rejected by traditional publishers. They might have written a book that was garbage and that didn't do very well in reviews, that they've probably had to just bury somewhere and hope everyone forgets it even exists. Doesn't matter how rich they are now, they've all been through it. They've all been bad to start with, and they've had to get better. And I'm hoping that just listening to this and just breaking things down for you, you'll be able to feel like, okay, yeah, I can do that. This is what I'm doing wrong right now, but ultimately there is always a solution. It's not a case of I can't do this. It's not a case of, oh, that's for other people to do. No, you can. So long as you've got the written comprehension skills, so long as you've got a vivid imagination and good ideas in your head, you can do it. So I'll get straight into the video now, but hopefully that at least gives you the encouragement to start with, to think, well, okay, I can do this. Okay, so what I think is the first real issue that a lot of writers probably encountered, certainly which I encountered, is one of mindset. And it's not just about consistency in writing, though I will come to that. It's also just having the confidence and the self-belief to believe that you can actually write a novel to begin with. Because if you are able to make a success of this, then and make it your day job, then it's going to take time. Of course it is. It's not going to happen on your first book. But what you may also find is that other people may not react very positively towards it, even those you consider friends, even those who might be family. Certainly I've heard of that happening, and I've seen people discuss it on the internet, both in forums and on YouTube as well, that you might not always get the support and encouragement you think. I've been fortunate enough that I have. My family were very supportive of me writing it, especially when they realise that self-publishing is a lot cheaper and easier to do these days. It's not a case of ordering a ton of advanced copies and praying that you can actually offload them out of your second bedroom. You can upload it for quite a low cost. In fact, it's free to upload to Amazon. It's just a matter of getting it actually published in the first place and edited. But ultimately, you may find yourself in a situation where you are stepping out of what's normal. You're moving out of the comfort of the herd, so to speak. And some people won't like that. They won't like seeing you doing something different. Do it anyway. You only live once and it is your life. You're not on the dark web doing something seedy. You're trying to do something productive and write something which you hope other people will enjoy. And ultimately, if you have to reevaluate your relationships with your friends and maybe even some family members, God forbid, then that's something you might have to do. Because this is a huge undertaking, and a lot of people may just be scared of seeing you do something successful, maybe just because they're too scared to do something like it themselves. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means that you may have to be strong if you do tell people, or maybe you just don't tell them. And really, then, no matter what other people think, and no matter how well supported you are, let's just say you are well supported for a moment, then you've still got to think, oh God, this is going to take me ages. And yeah, it will. If you're writing fantasy, it certainly will. And I say the first thing you've got to do is just, before you even think of a concept for your story, I'm going to stick to the genre of fantasy here because every genre will have different standards, different expectations, particularly in regards to content, word count, cover designs, etc. And my own research told me that the generally accepted word counts for fantasy novels will range between about 90,000 to 120,000, give or take. I mean, my one was just over 90,000 words, and I probably, looking back, could have actually made that a lot longer because it's got decent reviews on Amazon so far. It's generally getting in the 4 and 5 stars, but the ones who have given it 3 and 4 stars have said that sometimes they felt that there maybe wasn't enough detail, didn't put enough characters in enough context, because there are quite a few characters in it, especially bad guys, because part of the premise of it is that there is a large criminal network that is actually after my protagonists. And so in trying to introduce that network, maybe it was a bit rushed, maybe some of the characters were skated over a bit much, maybe I could have done more to just flesh them out a bit more and just slow things down in places. Looking back at some of the reviews, which have all been very constructive, whether they're 3, 4 or 5 stars, so I found it very, very helpful to read them. But the point I'm trying to make here is that a 90,000 to 120,000 word novel is a huge undertaking. You are not going to be able to do it in 1 week. And the big thing to note from that is that you've got to make it sustainable. Don't think that you can go and have a huge 5 to 10,000 word session and then keep repeating that every day. You won't. Not because you necessarily aren't capable of doing it, but because life will get in the way and prevent you from doing it. We're all going to have day jobs. I have one. As I say, I'm a lawyer, and so some days I am really, really busy, and I know for a fact that I cannot manage 10,000 words a day. And the internet can be a bad place for that. Don't look at the internet too much. There'll be all sorts of people sharing their tips for writing 10,000 words a day and saying, oh, this is easy, just copy me, do this, do that. It's not possible. It just isn't possible unless you are incredibly rich and are able to finance that, because perhaps you might have a bit more time on your hands to do that, or you've got other people funding it. Maybe you work part-time and have got like set hours where you're able to set time aside and do it, but in a lot of our cases we just can't. And so it's a case of you've got to set aside what time you can and think what is realistic. And that's one of the mistakes I made writing The Eye of the Ages, is that I thought I had to be writing 5 to 10,000 words a day and finishing the novel in 2-3 weeks, or at least at the most within a month. It just wasn't possible, and quite often I was putting myself down if I couldn't actually do it. If I had even a day where I made 5,000 words and thinking, well, this isn't 10,000. And as I've not been able to reach it all, I've just failed. But actually, no, I'd written 5,000 words in a day. And what I'm doing different now with my second novel, I won't reveal the name or the cover yet, I'll do that in a further video, is that to start with I've got a word count diary, and I've got a notebook which I encourage you to do. This notebook, quite a cool little magic book, it's from a company that uses recycled materials to make them, is really where I put all my ideas for the second book. And I would encourage anyone to do it, a separate notebook for each novel you're writing, just so things don't cross over too much. And with it I've written the words down that I've written each day, and I've set myself a rough target, no specific target, but my general aim is to aim for between 500 and 1,000 words a day. And that I reach that 500 to 1,000 words, which if I'm on a really good run, then I can do it probably in an hour sometimes, maybe even less than that if I'm really going for it. And then you think, oh yeah, I've reached the goal, it feels positive. And then what you're able to do is that you think, oh well, I'll just keep going then. I've reached my goal, everything else is a bonus. And some days I write 2,000 words. My best day I wrote 4,500 words because I was the only one in the house, there was no distractions, I was really enjoying the chapters that I was writing at that point, and the words are spilling onto the page so easily that at the time of recording this, then I've written 32,000 words. I've almost done with the first part of the novel, and so it's probably going to reach over 100,000 words, maybe 120,000 when it's done. But the fact the first act, so to speak, is nearly done, it just shows what the power of consistency can be in just changing your mindset. Writing 500 words in a day is far different than writing 10,000 words in a day. So don't believe what you write on the internet. Don't put yourself down over it. If you can't make several thousand words a day, just write what you can when you can, and be consistent, and tell yourself well done. If you've reached that goal, it may be a lower goal, but it doesn't make you a failure. You're still writing, and that's important. Probably the final thing that I want to just talk about today is removing distractions. We talk about consistency a lot, and a lot will show you that, yeah, turn your phone off, turn off any emails. It's easier said than done with all the distractions that there are in the world. There's a lot more these days. I mean, Tolkien first came up with the idea for The Hobbit because he was bored marking exam papers, but there was not much else to distract him with, so he wrote The Hobbit's first line while he was doing it and bored. And we are conditioned somewhere to think that boredom is a bad thing, that we always need to be on, we always need to be doing something with our lives, and you don't need to be. You can be bored. I've had my best ideas when I've been bored, because it just frees your mind up. You start drifting, you start daydreaming, and daydreaming is a good thing. I came up with the concept of the Eye of the Ages because I went to sleep. And I went to sleep feeling really frustrated, and then the basic concept of the story came in overnight, and I've fleshed out the world in all that time since, and it's a lot more developed than it was back then. But that's the point. I freed my mind up to actually just think. And that's big. Because in fantasy you have to have a vivid imagination, you have to really open your mind, and you've really got to think, okay, does this work? Is this something the reader might enjoy? Is it something they might get hooked on? It's not something you can force yourself to do. When I force myself to do something, then I've often just had to leave a highlight saying I'm going to do this later, and then come back and try to think of something then. Maybe go for a walk, or just take a bath, or just stare out the window. I do that a lot, or I play some music. Either way, you've just got to do you. And when you start just doing you and what makes you happy, your mind will open up and the ideas will start to come flooding in. Now, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you'll be able to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. There will be videos coming out quite regularly, just discussing the same themes. The next video is going to talk about the world that I've built, which is the Forgotten Isles, and the link to my website and my product pages is underneath this video. But otherwise, like and subscribe, and I hope you will have a good day wherever you are. Thank you very much.